Hey, what's going on, you guys? It's Tobey's Talk Show. This is episode number 43, and today we are back with the analysis of the Eastern Conference and Western Conference finals. So, right now, you're looking at what I thought would be the finals, which is Lakers versus Celtics. And as I've learned these past three series now, I've really been undermining the Heat. So, let's get started. I'll just analyze both the rounds, and then we could do a finals matchup. As you know, it's going to be the Lakers and Heat. And maybe I'll give my prediction to that and what I think will happen throughout that series. So, the Lakers and Nuggets series. So, I kind of knew, or I kind of felt, I didn't know anything because obviously basketball is very unpredictable, and I thought I knew that the Clippers would at least make it to the Western Conference Finals. But I thought that the Nuggets were a little too worn out and that the Lakers were feeling really good and that this was going to be an easy series. And yeah, I got the series exactly right, even though I didn't originally predict it to be Lakers-Nuggets. I had a feeling that the Lakers would win in 5, and that's exactly what happened. Analyzing this series, it was the LeBron and AD show, and what I begin to understand watching these playoffs is that both those guys are really, because they're the superstars of the team, and then there's a huge drop-off in talent after those two. They got to step up, and they have been. It was hard. There was really no one to guard LeBron, and, he put up 38, 15, and 10, I think, in Game 5, which is absolutely insane. And Anthony Davis, you can't really put Jokic on him. Jeremy Grant's a little too small. So, they both had some nice mismatches there for the Lakers, and they took advantage. Anthony Davis was killing it the whole series, and LeBron finished it off at the end. Rondo really stepped up. Dwight Howard stepped up. And, the Lakers in the last round, they didn't really play a lot of centers. Because of the Rockets' small ball, they decided to go small with them, and it worked. While the Nuggets, they have some big players like Jokic and Plumlee. So they have some centers on their team. So the Lakers kind of reverted back to playing McGee and Howard more, and it worked out. Howard's a great role player for that team. Him and Rondo have a nice connection. McGee's great for them as well. They don't really need them to score a lot. They just need to get the rebounds and play defense. And LeBron and AD could handle the rest on the offensive side of the ball. LeBron obviously could score, and he's a great facilitator, and Anthony Davis can post you up and score at will as well. And so I think that's what the team's really doing. You have LeBron passing out to the three-point shooters who are knocking down the threes. Sometimes obviously KCP and Danny Green are very inconsistent. At least this year they are. But, LeBron could pass it out, give it to Anthony Davis. The offense is working really well, and then you get the offensive rebound from your centers, and they could put it back up, whatever. And the Nuggets, Jamal Murray tried. Jokic really tried. The depth is there. I think Will Barton was definitely a huge piece that they missed throughout that whole series, or throughout the whole playoffs, honestly. He's really good for them. He's kind of their six-man, 15-point per game. He's like the Norman Powell, but better defense. Probably a little bit less talented on the offensive side of the ball. But, I think that loss really hurt. And even though that the Nuggets probably had a lot better depth, I just think the star power of LeBron and AD overshadowed, the rest of the Nuggets team, and it was just too much. So, that was my analysis for the Lakers and Nuggets. And now going to the Heat and Celtics. So, I thought it would be Celtics would win in 6. I just saw it, and I said it in my last video, that the Celtics had too much star power. And, I was wrong. The Heat were the ones that won in 6, so I could change that right now. But really, I think the big problem was that they had the star power. The Celtics just couldn't finish games. And I can't really tell you why. It just seemed like it was. I think it was a mix of bad shots, the pressure. I can't really tell you. It's just like Jimmy Butler just like rallies his team up in the last 3 minutes, and they just take over. I was saying the Celtics have a lot of star power, and I think they have a lot of underrated star power. And obviously, I wouldn't say Tyler Herro's a star yet. He's a great player. People are comparing him to Zion and Ja. I would, with the impact, I would chill out. Herro's in a great system. He doesn't have to have the ball in his hands all the time. Sure, he's a great player, and I really like Tyler Herro, actually. But, star, probably not. But he's a great player. Duncan Robinson's a great player. They just have a really good team all around. You have Jimmy, Bam, Goran. Those are your, scorers. Tyler Herro off the bench as your scorer. Duncan Robinson just straight for threes and somewhat defense, not really. Crowder/Iggy as your D and 3 guy. And then vice versa for the bench. And, you have players, like I know Miles Leonard doesn't play a lot. But, Iggy and Crowder. I know Nunn's not playing a lot either, which is a little weird because Nunn was really good, obviously, in the regular season. He was top 3 in Rookie of the Year voting. But you guys know the Heat team very, very deep. And, they might not all be stars yet, but they're all contributing to what they need to do. The Heat have a very good mix of shooting with Harrow and Robinson. And you could throw Bam and Butler in there, but they're not nearly as good. And Iggy and Crowder, whatever. You have your 3-point standouts in Robinson and Harrow. You have your defense in Butler, Adebayo, Crowder, Iggy. You have your scoring in Butler and Adebayo mostly, and then you get your threes and whatever. And you have your facilitator, and obviously Goran's been scoring a lot too. Don't forget Goran. And you have your facilitators in Butler, Adebayo, and Goran that could all pass because Adebayo's not even like a center. I mean, he is, but he plays like a small forward. It's crazy. He's really, really good. So, the Celtics had the star power, but overall the Heat were just really a better team. Defensively, shooting, offensively, it just showed. I think there was a stat that said in the game 4, like, the score was like 117 and 1, like they had the same amount of points, but the fact that the Heat just always clutched up in the fourth quarter, it really showed in that stat. I think the Heat are just determined. I think Jimmy Butler has almost put a curse on them, and a good curse, and he's like, this is it, and it's working. Butler was never the problem, and I think people are realizing that more. I never thought Butler was a problem in Philly. They were one shot away from making it to the Eastern Conference Finals and to play the Bucks, who lost to the team. The Sixers lost to the championship, or to the championship. The Sixers lost to the team that won the championship, so they were right there. They could have probably beat the Bucks, honestly. And with a really injured Warriors team, they could have maybe won the championship. So Butler, and as you can see, the last time the Bulls made the playoffs was with Butler. The last time the Timberwolves made the playoffs was with Butler. And last time, and the Sixers, they could have won the championship with Butler last year. So obviously, I think this year has really shown that Butler is a lot better of a player than people think. And you have to include leadership in there too. That really bumps him up because he's a great leader. And you really can't deny that anymore. You could say that it depends on the team because, there may be a team that don't like that type of, feedback where, he's aggressive and tells them straight up what's wrong. And that's why those teams don't succeed. The Heat, all those players, most of them are guys that are underdogs that weren't supposed to be here. Jay Crowder, Jimmy Butler, Marquette, Duncan Robinson, D3 to D1. All these guys are people that no one expected to be at this point. And I think Jimmy Butler has rallied these guys and is like, look, we weren't supposed to be here, but let's show them why we are here. And it's working. They've only lost 3 games in their first 3 series. Like, it's absolutely insane. They've absolutely demolished the East. I thought what the Heat are doing right now is what the Bucks would be doing. And, maybe as a NBA fans, we were undervaluing the Heat or underestimating them. But yeah, they look really in sync. Their chemistry is 100% right now. They have everything, like I've talked about, the offense, shooting, defense. They have it. Intensity, clutchness, they have it all. And so I think this Lakers and Heat series is going to be very, very interesting. I think the Celtics, Tatum played great. I can't even say that the Celtics didn't play great. I just think the Heat were just better than them overall. I didn't really get to the Celtics, but what I'll say is that they're going to be good for a very long time. I think we all know that. That core 4 is really, really good. And you'll see them in the playoffs every year because they have a good mix. Smart's their defense. Hayward really helped them, but it was just a little too late. I think Hayward has to be more aggressive. And I think that's going to be an issue that they have to fix with Hayward because he doesn't really put up a lot. And we know him from his Utah Jazz days as a 20-point per game scorer. So I think Hayward has to get more aggressive. But overall, I just think the Heat outmatched them, especially when it comes to the benches. And yeah, the Heat were just a better team. The last thing we'll talk about is the Heat and Lakers finals, and I'll give a little preview to that. It's going to be very interesting. Now, I'm saying to myself, I think the Lakers are going to win it, and then I say to myself, I've thought that the Heat were going to lose the last 2 series, but I'm going to stick with it, and I'm going to say the Lakers are probably going to win in 6. Now, I don't know why this isn't doing the normal thing, but you guys know, 4-2, okay? And, oh, here it is. It's down here. So, you have Anthony Davis and LeBron. You're going to go, okay, who's going to guard LeBron? You have Jimmy. But LeBron's too good, and I love Jimmy, and I was just talking great about Jimmy. But I don't know. I just think that LeBron's too big, too much of a facilitator, that he's just going to, no one thinks LeBron's going to have a bad series. LeBron is a great finals player. Like, he never chokes in the finals. So I don't see him. And Bam, yes, Bam's a great defender, but Anthony Davis is just too big. Bam is 6'8". Anthony Davis, if he turns around and shoots over Bam, it's like there's no one in his face. Obviously, Bam is a great defender, so he's going to cause some troubles for Anthony Davis, but I just think it's not going to be enough, especially because of his size. On the Heat side, we just talked about it. They're a lot better depth overall and better probably with their shooting, defense. As a team, they're probably a better team. Is it going to be enough though to stop LeBron James and Anthony Davis? In my opinion, not. I think that the Heat are going to score their points, but I think it's going to be hard for them to score in the paint, and that's what Jimmy's really good at. So I think that's going to be a problem. Same with Bam. You're going to put JaVale or Dwight with Anthony Davis in the paint, and it's going to be hard for Bam to score. I think he's going to have to start to shoot a lot more, and that's going to be a problem for them. I think he's a good shooter, but he's a lot better in the post than in the paint. And I think Jimmy's going to have to be forced to take a lot more shots, and he's not the best shooter. So I think that's going to be an issue. So overall, I think the Lakers are going to win in 6. I think it's going to be a good series. I think the Heat, especially with the amount of great players they have on their team, they're going to put up a fight because, after LeBron and AD, and then you take away Jimmy and Adebayo, probably every player for the Heat is better for the Lakers than the Lakers. But, I just think that star power is too much. I think the defense of the Lakers will be too much for the Heat. And yeah, that is why I have the Lakers winning in 6. So I know I just rambled a lot. I know I just talked a lot of basketball. But yeah, that was my analysis. Let me know down below what you guys predicted for the Eastern Conference and Western Conference Finals and who you think will win the championship. Let me know, who you're rooting for, Heat or Lakers. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. And post notifications on if you guys want to get my videos, if you want to be notified when my videos come out, because I don't really post anything anywhere saying it. So yeah, guys, that's all. I think I'm going to do an NFL series very, very soon. You guys will probably see that in the next week or two. And that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. This was episode number 43. I'll see you guys in episode number 44. And bye, guys.